The look of anguish and despair etched on Fiona Alayo's face embodies the emotional weight she carries. The resident of Mperere in Kawempe Division, Kampala City, has to fend for her 6 children from her meager earnings as a hairdresser. As the sole breadwinner, she has to pay their school fees, buy scholastic materials, feed them, and treat them when they fall ill. Such is the burden that the young children have dropped out of school. However, life was not always this dire. The troubles began when her husband Jime Nganda was arrested and imprisoned in Masaka prison in 2018. He has been on remand for 7 years without trial, accused of murdering his nephew and hiding the body over a property wrangle in the family. Nganda was arrested with his young brother Charles Nalumoso.
My husband had built a house in Sanji, but I used it as a collateral to get a loan to hire lawyers. I failed to pay back the loan and the house had to be sold off.
Alayo hoped that if her husband got bail, he would work towards repaying the debt to save their home. In the 7 years of his incarceration, her husband developed high blood pressure and diabetes. He is also a regular in hospitals due to frequent bouts of meningitis.
My husband has not attended a single trial. The last time I visited, he told me prisoners were being forced to accept the crimes against them. My husband refused to accept a plea bargain for a crime he did not commit.
The mother of 6 claims that after entering plea bargains, prisoners are being handed long sentences. In coercive plea bargains, defendants with limited resources are especially targeted due to the high costs of trials. Sam Sechewa, an advocate in Masaka City, says forcing parties to plea bargains is an issue that has been developing in the judiciary over time.
The challenge is that most of these people that are doing plea bargain, they've been there for some good time. So somebody just gets fed up. They say, okay, I've been here for 7 to 8 years. It amounts to a conviction. I have not been tried. The absurdity though is that they keep assuring them that even if you don't, then you're not going to be tried in the next session. So you find somebody has to admit guilt.
In this way, some innocent people who may not have committed a crime agree to it due to the prevailing circumstances. Coercive plea bargains mean people are being convicted wrongly, yet justice is more about fairness than convictions.
You cannot compel a person to accept just because you want to secure a conviction and have him remanded. So out of this wrongful conviction, you're going to have you're buttressing an injustice, which is wrong. But all this is coming out of one thing: you have failed to try this person for a very long time.
In the case of Nganda, being locked up for 7 years gave his accusers carte blanche to grab all his property. Before he was arrested, he was a mechanic who owned a garage. He had several plots of land and houses. In every criminal session, a judge is supposed to handle 40 cases. However, Nganda and his brother have not attended a single session. Sechewa blames the trial delays on the unfair distribution of judges. Currently, Masaka Court Circuit, which covers 9 districts, has only 2 judges. However, one is away on study leave. On June 16th, lawyers in Masaka sub-region laid down their tools, demanding that the judiciary immediately deploys at least 5 additional High Court judges and 5 registrars to the Masaka Court Circuit. Nicholas Nganda was in Senior 3 when his father was arrested. He dropped out of school that year. Today, he roasts chicken on the roadside to earn a living.
I
feel so bad for my young siblings. Every time they ask me the whereabouts of their father, I tell them that he traveled, but he will return soon. I don't want to tell them that he's in prison.
The young man claims that his father's brother, Lawrence Mulondo, sold off Nganda's property immediately after he was arrested. Farida Mkasa, who is the mother of both prisoners, lives in Berlin, Germany. She agrees that the whole issue stems from an inheritance wrangle between her children over their father's property.
All of them, including Lawrence Mulondo, are my children. However, they have different fathers. Everyone knew that Nganda would be the heir, but somehow this did not go well with Lawrence.
Mukasa claims that Mulondo, who also lives in Berlin, is the one keeping his brothers in prison. He says whenever Nganda's name appears on the cause list, which details cases to be heard in court, Mulondo travels back home. Somehow, Nganda's name disappears from the list.
Rollins has done a lot of bad things. Even when my daughter died, he grabbed all her property in Uganda. He has also grabbed some of my properties.
NTV could not readily verify these claims or interview Mulondo. Meanwhile, Alayo calls on the Chief Justice and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to interest themselves in her husband's case. Patrick Ssenyondo, NTV.